The story.
Did
Save the
not
story.
show up, so I'm flying him out after Luke
live?
Rockhold.
Okay.
I'm going to do a podcast with him with subtitles in Spanish. Then I'm bringing him up here on Friday.
What?
And I got
Really?
a company to do it for me in Spanish with subtitles. And then I'm going to bring him up here on Friday, and we're going to have a three-way about Cuba and what it was like to wrestle and the whole thing, if you don't mind.
Whoa.
I don't know if you mind. So I'll do mine about subtitles just in español.
Okay.
Vamos a hablar de Cuba, como tú te criaste. So no, it will not clash with you.
Dude, the three of us together would be the greatest podcast ever.
Because I could interpret, and you would be, it would be a real MMA. You could really talk to them about underhooks and Russia. And
that's a fantastic
early training
idea.
in Cuba and where they shipped them. Because they ship you off when you're a young kid. That's what a lot of people don't know. Yeah, they look at you and they go, pelotero. You don't have a choice. They look at you and they go, tú vas a ser luchadero, and that's it. Now they take you at a certain age, and they either send you to Nicaragua or Russia, and you train. And that's why a lot of Cubans are judokas, because they go to Russia and learn judo.
Wow.
So he's going to tell you how they shipped them off. And they don't just tell your mom, like, we're taking them tomorrow.
It's always been interesting to me because the Cubans and the Russians in particular were always thought of as being very technical. Really, the Russians are super technical. That was what a lot of people attributed George St. Pierre's success in wrestling. You know, George didn't wrestle in college or in high school, but he trained with a bunch of Russian nationals in Montreal, and apparently phenomenal wrestlers. They have this incredible wrestling program. Like when you see Nurmagomedov, the way he mauls people inside the octagon, like what in the fuck? Like that is like a perfect example of that like style of super hard, super technical wrestling. They're so good at it. There's so many. You see Lomachenko used to be a wrestler? There's a video of Lomachenko. It looks like he's doing sambo. It looks like he's got like a gi on, and it's him and some other cat, and he's like 11 years old or something like that. So his father put him in everything. His father made him, you know who Lomachenko is, right?
Yes.
One of the best boxers ever. Like literally one of the most technically beautiful to watch boxers that's ever lived. But this guy used to wrestle too. Like this is I don't think this is it. Is it? Yes. Okay. Is this him wrestling with somebody? Yeah, this is one now where he can still do this shit. This is like pretty recent. Like he showed some of his wrestling moves. But the other one was him when he was a little boy. Like, he's really technical, man. He knows how to wrestle. This is legit. Like, when you see the way he's moving his body, he's not faking that. He's done that a bunch of times. And, yeah, this is one when he's a little kid, man. It's crazy. It says Greco-Roman wrestling, but they're wearing a gi, so I'm not exactly sure what it is. But he gets his kid and gets behind him and sends him for a ride. So he's always been an amazing athlete. Like in every, I think there's something to that. There's something to his father had an idea. It's a crazy idea. His father took him out of boxing and put him in a dance for like several years. So, a Ukrainian traditional dance style, apparently. They were talking about it on one of those HBO shows. For like 4 years, I think it was the HBO show, but for 4 years, I think, he just danced. You imagine that? His father's like, you want to learn how to box? You got to dance. And now nobody's got footwork. Have you ever seen him, Joey?
Yes.
Have you seen like his highlight reel?
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's insane.
It's insane. Jamie, pull up a Lomachenko highlight reel.
Because my daughter goes to ballet, and 80% of the class is Russian. So I was thinking about it yesterday. I was watching the movements, the last parade movement, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, if people did ballet, could you? And I was thinking of GSP. Like, you know me, I'm like, right. GSP probably fucking does ballet. Like, you know what I'm saying?
He would.
Like, that's what
It'd be
people
good for
do.
you.
It's great footwork.
This guy is the wizard of footwork. It's crazy because he's like right in front of you, but he's one step ahead of you at every turn. Like he knows what you're going to do right while you're doing it.
Wow.
He's moving in a way that you can't move. He's in front of you and then he's not. It's crazy. Like he's one of the most technical boxers I've ever seen. Just an amazing stylistic achievement, like what he can do with his body. His style's totally unique. I mean, a lot of guys have done it. A lot of guys have moved in and out. A lot of guys have done it. But he's doing it at such a high level that it makes people confused. Guys quit in their corner. They're like, what in the fuck? And I really think a lot of it probably had to do with his father's cross-training, and particularly with the dance. I mean, think about how effortlessly he goes, like, steps around guys. I mean, he's got some incredible control of his feet, but it makes sense that, like, you would learn how to move your feet in a specific way the way you weren't learn how to move your hands in a specific way, right? Like, think about a guy like Floyd Mayweather, right? His hand combinations with his upper body, they're so precise. It's like, da, right? But with his legs, is he as precise? Is he as precise moving with his legs as he is with his hands, or is he 60% or 70% or 80%? Lomachenko is probably perfectly proportioned for his style, with his ability to move, but also his ability to box and hit you well. He's got both things going on at the same time with next level angles.
So that's what I was saying to you. When you're young in Cuba, they pick you. It's not like you wake up and go, I want to be a wrestler. No, they look at you and go, you look like you could go wrestle. And, like, what I was hearing back from them in the early 70s was like they just took you away from your family. They,
right.
And that was part of your training. You know, then they put you in their gobierno, you know, where you train in, like, their army.
Have you talked to Yoel about this?
Yoel? Yeah, like, no, we've discussed what this thing is. I already have graphics on the podcast.
Whoa.
So I figured that I put them up and we'll do a podcast in Spanish with fucking subtitles, like an English film, like a Jellini movie, whatever, one of those movies people think are unique. Okay,
yeah.
Here you have it.
That would
because
be genius.
his English is too rough for me, and I know what he's trying to say, and the frustration in his face.
He's trying to say, I love you.
I love you.
Michael Bisping.
So now he did a tape the other day of him in Cuba waiting for Bisping in Cuba.
Oh, no.
He went to Cuba.
Bisping went to Cuba?
No. Romero's back.
Right.
See if you
he's
can
in
find
Cuba,
it.
but what is the...
See if you can find
Michael Bisping.
Oh, he's nuts. He's nuts. He's nuts.
He's fighting Rockhold now.
Which is a tremendous fight on the 10th, right?
That's a crazy fight.
That's a crazy fight.
Very good fight. It's a very good fight. Rockhold, when he's on, is super dangerous. You know, when Rockhold made one slip up against Bisping, but, you know, fair play to Bisping, he came to that fight regardless of where anybody ranked him, you know, like how they felt his chances were. He came in swinging. He had I think he had 11 days notice, something like that. How many days notice did Michael Bisping get when he fought Luke Rockhold? I want to say it was something crazy low. It wasn't much time.
You know, Luke Rockhold is very good.
He's a beast.
Very, very good.
His top game is insane.
Let me tell you something. I think when he fought Michael Bisping, I'm not going to lie to you, I think his focus was a little off, maybe too, in a way. I think he was dating rock stars and hanging out in Hollywood. I think he's not dating whatever anymore. Now he's just fucking, you know, when he beat Branch, he looked great. But his jiu-jitsu's great.
Yeah.
He has great kicks. He's great with his hands, his movement. Him against Yoel is going to be interesting.
He's got vicious kicks, man.
Now, he's 4 and he's 1, right? So Luke Rockhold is number 1 at 185 right now?
I believe so. Yeah, I think he's number 1 contender. 4. Is he 4? Yeah. It's a great fight.
And then you got Jacare's back in the mix.
Ooh, Jacare with Eric Brunson.
You know what's crazy? Like I always say to you, I don't mean to pronounce his name wrong, and then Ngannou, right? Like when he fought Stiopic. Ngannou, when he fought my man, Immigrant Mentality, like a motherfucker. Yeah, he hits hard and all that stuff like that, but now that dude's still going to be more dangerous now. He's going to fucking take that loss and come back
man.
He's fucking machine.
You got to think how crazy it is that he went from being a guy who was homeless to 5 years later fighting for the heavyweight title. This is like a total amount of training. 5 years of MMA training, fighting for the heavyweight title, and he's the favorite. He's the favorite over a guy who's already defended it twice. I mean, it's crazy. That's how talented he is. That's how terrifying he is. That's how special he is. But a loss like that to a guy like that, like to a real champ like Stipe, that lets you realize where the top of the game is. There's a few more things to learn. There's a lot more days to get in training. But that guy's just begun. He's just begun.
Yeah, he's just begun.
5 years ago, he didn't know shit.
No,
he's way better now than he was 2 fights ago. Yeah, I see the difference. I see the difference in the way he moves. When he fought Overeem, it was significantly different than when I saw him in his first and second fights. His first and second fights, he was very good. But just insanely strong. He would hit guys with these combinations and clean technique too, man. He's not just a physically strong guy, he's also very smart because he's learning to do everything mechanically very good. It's not like a guy who's only been striking for like 3 or 4 years, so they look a little tight and weird, but they can, if they land, they got a lot of power. No, man, everything is clean.
Like you said, some digging those trenches, Jack.
Oh, dude.
All that type of work gets you tough.
He's just a special athlete.
No,
and if he keeps going, man, I mean, boy, that guy learning more. To think about how little you learn in 5 years. Most of these guys have way more time in wrestling, way more time in kickboxing. The average guy, by the time he gets to the UFC, I would like to know what the number is of like how many years of training and competing they have, but it's got to be more than 2. Like he was like right in the UFC and smashing people. He's an amazing story, man. It's an amazing story, and for a lot of people, the way it ended is a good lesson for martial artists. It's a good lesson. See, even if you were an Ngannou fan, you're bummed out that he lost. I appreciate that. I'm an Ngannou fan too, but I'm more of a fan of mixed martial arts. I'm a fan of an honest, I want to know what it is. Like what is this? Like what's this contest right here? What's actually going on here? What's going on here is phenomenal athletic talent, massive potential, like a super alpha athlete versus one of the toughest guys ever, who's been in the game longer, who knows more. He's wrestled. He's been fighting way more. He's been in the trenches way more times. He's had to dig deep. He knows what it's like to be really hurt and tired in a fight.
See, I appreciate the strategy of, like, how do you go into fighting a guy? Like,
perfect strategy.
It was like Rocky against Mr. T.
Yeah.
That's what exactly was like. So it was like heart and fucking a little smart, stay away from that punch. It had to be, and I haven't watched the full fight. You know, I was working then. I'm on fucking stage.
My brother, getting hit by Francis Ngannou with MMA gloves is the worst thing that can happen to a person. He's terrifying. And Stipe got cracked multiple times in that fight. It's not like he didn't get hit. He got cracked, but he had made up his mind. He was going nowhere. He knew what to do. He'd been there before. That's an incredible lesson just for the overall the sport, for mixed martial arts in general. And the lesson is, like, he figured out, like, he had like the craziest end of video game character ever, right? And Ngannou's like the big boss in a video game. They're like, fuck, I gotta play against this guy. That's Ngannou. And Stipe figured out how to beat him, being 20 plus pounds lighter than him, way less intimidating in terms of his physical presence, although Stipe is pretty fucking intimidating. But Ngannou's so intimidating. He's so next level. 265 natural, giant, crazy frame. You look at him.
What is Stipe?
Woo!
When you're next to Stipe, that's when you realize how big he is.
It's a big fella.
On TV, you don't look that big. When you're next to him, you're like, this guy's a big fuck.
He's a big fuck.
What's he walk around at?
His asset is his mind, though, Joe.
Yes.
It's
I told
his
you,
mind.
dog, come on, dog.
Yeah.
I've been telling
That
you
immigrant
that for 20
mentality.
fucking years.
We talked about the Wikipedia page.
Dog, I told you, immigrant mentality with
Tell
American
him about
ingenuity.
the Wikipedia page.
Listen, American ingenuity is fucking brilliant, and with the immigrant mentality mixed, like, let's say you're still an American, but your dad could have called you Steve. No, you can still call him Stipe Miocic to remember where the fuck you came from. You understand me? His father came. That's really weird. Like the other night, it was on. I almost called you, Joe. I hate calling you. I almost called you to go, when was the last time you watched Bronx Tale?
Oh, you know what?
It's been on all week.
I watched it a year ago.
When he fucking finds them with the guns and he starts smacking the kids in the neighborhood, I still remember people's parents smacking kids in the neighborhood.
Wow.
Like people's parents coming on and go, what the fuck are you guys doing? Get the fuck home.
Yeah.
And like one kid got a kick to the stomach and the father punched the other kid and nobody said dick.
Nobody said dick.
Dick.
No.
Like I'm watching this, and the biker scene. When was the last? Like I haven't watched Bronx Tale in 20 years. It's on AMC at 6:30.
Right. When they lock the door, now
Bro,
you can't leave.
He's eating and shit, and all of a sudden he hears the bikes and shit, and he walks over. Oh, okay, nice, like a gentleman. Yeah, all right, no problem. One beer, and all of a sudden they do a thing, and he walks up to the guy. You got to leave. No, now you can't leave. And Calogero, like that guy named his son Calogero. Who would do something like that? That means you want your son to have the immigrant mentality. But when they throw that beat on the bikers, that's a true story, bro.
Is it?
That's a true story. Listen, in the 60s, you couldn't have long hair and walk around the Bronx. It just wasn't accepted.
Really?
Yeah. That hippie shit, that didn't happen in the Bronx in 1965.
What did they do? What if like a hippie was walking through the Bronx?
They called you dirty hair. They insulted you. They called you a bunch of shit, and then they threw a beating on you.
Wow.
And it's hysterical because that scene is so accurate. Because after the adults threw a beating on you, then the neighborhood kids chased you, like the young kids with sticks. And that's what we do.
Wow.
You know, like the little guys would chase you and fuck. Once you were beat up and they took all your money, it's a classic scene. I was thinking about that. And I'm like, I got to call Joe and ask him when the last time. Look at this. Look how bad to the bone. Whether he stole it, Joe, whether he stole the scene, or look at this. You got to leave. Your man is telling us you got to leave. Well, just tell him, Sonny.
Problem is your man here says we're not properly dressed, like our money ain't green.
Like our money ain't green.
It's 2 beers, that's it. That's it, we'll be on our way. We ain't looking for trouble. Spoke like a gentleman.
Gotta be careful for you, too.
I appreciate it. No problem.
Listen to how cool this come together sound.
He got
Doug.
him around.
But they knew that instant they made a fatal mistake. This time they walked into the wrong bar.
Come on, you scrappy motherfucker!
This is real, Joe Rogan. This was 1968 on fucking Jerome Avenue.
Holy shit. So this is a true story? Jesus Christ. This scene is fucking brutal.
This is it. This was when this was allowed.
Dude.
This is crazy. This was the Bronx in 68, 69. And the neighborhood, on the 3rd floor. Hey, we could see the cops from the 3rd floor. We could see the bulls coming down the street. You're like, the whole neighborhood was in on it.
You know what's interesting to me? Like, this is all from immigrants, right?
Yes.
It's all our...
This was what they had to do because of not. But this also movie is about him dating a black girl.
Right.
And what that meant at the same. I forgot how good this movie was.
That's right.
This movie's brilliant.
Yeah. Shout out to Frankie Renzulli.
Yeah.
This movie is a genius movie.
Look at this. Watch my car. You know.
Chaz Palminteri's great in this fucking movie.
This is it. This was it. This was it.
I forgot how good this is.
Now, see the young guys? Now that's us, right? We're seeing what's going on. Now you take this guy and we would fuck him up, dog.
Oh,
By that
crazy.
time,
this is like animals.
Yeah,
I mean,
this
if you
is
really
it.
stop and think about it.
This is it. This is how you were raised.
Italian immigrants, Spanish immigrants.
Oh my God, this is crazy.
Crazy. When you think about they're one generation removed from people who came off a boat.
Let me tell you what the other side of this. Here's the other side. Like, all right, the big thing was as we came to move here. I remember that he would come to the store. Frank Starr, Mike Starr was your friend, and he would come to the store. And there was a big rumor that Chaz stole these stories from him and put this together. And there was like this little war going on, but not
From
really.
Frankie Renzulli.
From
Yeah.
Frankie Renzulli, the other gentleman. There was somebody else that was his roommate
okay.
that turned out to be somebody very big, and. But there's a story one time that a biker dude owed Gravano money, and Gravano was hitting him, and he fell off the sidewalk and broke his leg. So Gravano one night went out and fucking did something like this, something like with 20 guys, they beat up 8 bikers or something. I don't know how true it was. But I still remember being 5. Like, if I could think, if you could hit me with truth serum, I could go back to being 1968, 1969 in the Bronx. My daughter's 5, and my mother would send me from the dry cleaner that she owned to the corner where there was an Italian place that had slices and Italian ice and shit like that.
Right.
Like, I was allowed to walk to the corner at Mercy's Edge on Tremont Avenue. Like, I was looking at my daughter when I was watching Bronx, and I'm going, how different has time changed? Like, I was allowed to go to the liquor store with a note and get my mother Marlboro Reds and bring them back. In that neighborhood. We didn't live there. My mother just had a dry cleaner, and up there was a bookie numbers joint. That's why we had the dry cleaner. We were partners on the dry cleaner. You didn't know that?
No.
That's why I got scars on my face. I got bit by a German Shepherd as a kid. Those 3 by one of the eyes, that's what we did. When we came from Cuba, I lived on 205 West 88th Street. And after my father died, my mother had a dry cleaner. And that's where we were up. We were up in Jerome Avenue and Tremont and Grand Concourse. And we had a dry cleaner. And every weekend I would go up there. And I would sit there with I learned how to dry clean. And they had Black Mike. Black Mike was the guy that ironed everything, but he made the best spaghetti in the Bronx. So even Italians came to eat Black Mike spaghetti.
Really?
Yeah, this was, I knew all that shit when I was a kid. Because when you have a numbers operation, you have to keep moving it around.
Right.
The cops can't, so you have to, every 3 or 4 weeks, you have to move it around.
Explain the numbers to people who don't know what that means.
The numbers is the pari-mutuel. It's the last 3 numbers are the pari-mutuel of the track, which is the amount the track made for the day. So if the track made $686,482,000, the number for the day is 482. And it comes out as the Brooklyn number. So there's 3 numbers a day. There's Brooklyn, the Bronx, and New Jersey. But what happened was that was a big business until the 80s, till the lotto came out. Then the lotto cut that in half. But before that, that was all put in little different immigrant neighborhoods all over New York City, because as immigrants, we all want hope.
Yeah.
You know, we want that money to get that refrigerator and the stove and shit like that. It's such a weird thing that they would gamble. Just $2 a day. Remember, $2 a day wins you $1,000.
Yeah.
I could do a lot in 1975 with $1,000 with 2 kids.
My grandmother was obsessed with the numbers.
Yeah,
She was obsessed. And she would always have like a number in her head that she thought it was going to be. And it was like 1 off or something like that. It was like these stories she would tell you.
What would you say to her?
What can I say? I was like 5. I just remember it very distinctly. My grandmother went to jail for running numbers.
In New Jersey?
She wouldn't rat them out. So they put her in jail. And so she made sweaters, gave sweaters to the guards. Mrs. D, she's the nicest lady.
How did you feel that your grandmother had done time? What did you think? We
didn't find out until I was probably like, I wonder when I found out. I think maybe I found out in my teenage years. And I was like, what? What the fuck? Like, people would go to see her. Like, where's, I don't want to say my grandma's name out of respect, but people would say, you know, where is she? And she went to visit her cousin. Or she went to see her aunt, and she was in the pokey for like 6 months. I forget how much time it was, but every time we would go over there was like some new excuse.
See, in New Jersey, they put you in New Jersey, they put you in jail for gambling. In New York City, they don't. They give you a ticket. You know, they would give you like a ticket and shit in those days. I don't know what it's like now. They'll throw you in jail for weed now in New York City. I don't fucking know.
My grandmother was one of the few people I've ever known where I legitimately thought they had intuition. She has weird intuition. She would do things. It was real weird. Like when my mother was a kid, there was a rainstorm. It was like a real bad rainstorm. And for whatever reason, my grandmother decided to wake my mother up, take her out of her bed, and bring her downstairs. Some crazy hunch that she had. The ceilings collapsed, like right above the bed where my mom was sleeping. So like pieces of, it wasn't a lot. It was just chunks of plaster. But like, 3 or 4 pretty significant pieces of plaster fell off of the ceiling. It was rain came through it, the whole deal. Like the ceiling gave out. Somehow or another, she had this idea in her head. And it could be because she knew that the ceiling was fucked up and she knew it was raining hard and it was probably going to give in anyway. Or she might have had intuition. And everyone was always convinced it was intuition. Everyone was always convinced like she's like a little bit psychic. It was always weird. It was always weird around there. Well, because she had a monkey. Did I tell you about her monkey?
No.
She had a monkey.
In New
Chi-Chi.
Jersey?
Yes, in Newark, New Jersey. She had a monkey named Chi-Chi. And Chi-Chi would bite everybody but my grandma. My grandfather made her keep the monkey in the attic. Yo, my grandma was crazy. She had a monkey who would open up packages of gum and chew gum.
Do you know how or where the fuck she got it from?
She
Jesus
bought it.
Christ.
She bought a monkey. Yo, I'm telling you, my grandma was crazy.
Listen, Italian people had butchers in those days, and they get you anything.
She kept-
Alligator, pigeon.
She kept a monkey in the house, man. Do you understand how crazy it
Do
is?
you remember
And
the monkey?
Yes, Chi-Chi. The monkey's name was Chi-Chi.
Did he bite you?
No, he never bit me, but he bit my sister. He bit my sister. Yeah, Chi-Chi would fuck you up. I think he bit my sister. I think he tried to bite my sister. I think it was one of those things. He might have bit my cousin. Someone in our family got bit.
Where was she from?
I never
dog?
touched him. I couldn't
Was
even
that the
get
Irish
close.
side or
no,
the Italian
side?
Yeah, they're nuts.
She was crazy.
And once you give, no disrespect, but once you give those lunatics that option that they do have intuition, you're done.
Yes.
You're fucking done. They start giving you the fish eyes.
Dude.
And don't do shit. You got to listen to them.
Her cooking was from another planet. It's from another planet. It was like pure immigrant cooking. Like the pasta, the lasagna. You just sit there and go, holy shit. Just perfect. Just knew exactly what's supposed to be in there. She'd bake her own, she would make her own macaroni. She'd make her own ravioli. She would stuff her own ravioli. She'd be out there rolling and flattening out flour and shit, throwing the flour on top of it, flattening it out. She was a wizard.
So you should get a monkey, call it Chi-Chi, just out of respect. A little monkey, and keep it here, dog, out of respect for grandma.
My grandma was a special lady. She was powerful.
Yeah, once you give those, listen, when I was a kid, man, I went to my buddy's judo school. I didn't join. I just went down there to see what it was like. And it was hidden in Union City. It was on 7th Street. But I knew that my stepdad played cards on 9th Street on Wednesdays.
Wow.
Okay, I knew my stepdad played cards down there. They played baccarat. Okay, and they'd gamble in this little club. And I had to be maybe 10. But because I grew up how I grew up, and with the numbers, I always had my eyes out as a kid. When I went to judo that night, at the end, I got in the bus to go back, and I noticed unmarked police cars. And I went home that night. And look, bro, you know me, dog. Get Christy Love used to be a show on ABC about a black chick that knew martial arts. They tried to capitalize on it with her sister. And she was good looking with an afro, and she was a cop. And she'd come in and do karate moves. So on Wednesday nights at 9 or 10 o'clock, you caught me at home watching Get Christy Love. And I'll never forget that my stepdad was leaving that night. And for some reason, I go, you going to play baccarat tonight? And he looked at me. He was getting dressed, a suit on. He had like the Billy Bat suit on and shit. Like, you're going to play cards with 5 men. Why are you getting dressed to the nines?
Right.
And I said to him, I said, hey, man, today I went down there to go to Martin's judo school, and I saw a bunch of unmarked cars down there. If I was you, I wouldn't go out to that. And he fucking just looked at me. He said, I love you, and he walked down the stairs. He got in the car, started it, opened the garage, bro. And 10 minutes later, I heard the car turn off, and the garage closed, and he came up, and he goes, I think you're right. And he made Sundays for me and him, and next morning, that card place had got raided. So now, they would listen to me when I was a kid. I had these fucking morons under my spell, right? But you want me to tell you what else I did, Joe Rogan? Like, this was me and my stepdad had this weird relation. I got to an age where I wanted my mother for myself. You know what the feeling is, Joe Rogan. We've all gone through it when you lose a dad and your mom remarries. There comes a day that he's not going to tell you what's going on anymore. And you know what? I just want you to know that I'm the motherfucker that runs this joint. You might be sleeping with my mom, but I run this motherfucker. So once I gave him that advice, like it really, for a while there, him and I were going afloat. I kept stealing his coins from his Santos. He had this San Lazaro thing, and that was everything to him. So he had this big bottle of like scotch that was empty, and he would put silver dollars in there, and I would steal them. And from time to time, he would come home and go, that bottle's looking light. Somebody's stealing my... I destroyed his mind for years because he was a very particular man. So he had different bundles of money. I got to tell you something. I respect him today because I saw him get out of the joint, and I saw what he did with bookmaking and how he became partners on a butcher shop.
Oh, you started businesses?
He started different businesses. So after I saved that night with the baccarat, he would listen to me. And then one day I went, and I signed up for Biddy basketball in Union City, and they used to give, like now, if you sign your kid up, you got to pay $80, and
Right.
in those days you just show up with an address,
Right.
and they gave you a T-shirt, they put you on the team, and they gave me a number. They said like Union City Department of Recreation. It was a purple shirt. My number was 57. I walked in the house, and he goes, "What do you got there?" And I go, "Oh, I joined the basketball thing." And he goes, "What number is it?" He goes, 57. Cubans, again, are very superstitious. 57. He goes, "Put a number on that." And he picked up the phone. I go, 5. He called some guy, and he goes, "Give me 557 for $10. Guess what happened, Joe Rogan?
What happened?
The number came out. Now I really had him under my spell, right?
Get the fuck out of
Listen,
here.
I had this motherfucker at the age of 12. So he would listen to me and shit.
How old was the guy?
My stepfather, Juan, at the time, was 47. Did not drink.
Can you imagine?
Did not drink. Did not do drugs. Carried a straight razor, Joe Rogan.
A straight razor to cut people with?
Yeah. He used to wear carpenter pants with the straight razor. At this point, the guy had money. He would have a gold chain. He'd wear a Chinese T-shirt, which a lot of people do not know what it is. That's what real pimps wear. They're silk, handmade shirts from China that you wear, and they have 3 little buttons. But when you're a real motherfucking spick, you cut those buttons, and you get your initials, and you put them in gold with diamonds in it. That's how spicks ran in those days.
Whoa.
And once I had him there, Joe Rogan, I had him. He trusted me. He trusted my eyes. So one night we're in Union City, and I fucking went somewhere, and on the walk back, there's a place called Pastoral Music, and it was next to the New Moon Chinese restaurant, and I saw a bunch of unmarked cars. And I'll never forget that I went back to the bar, and I told him, I said, "Dog, I saw 3 unmarked." Like, I had him.
Right.
And I go, I seen 3 unmarked cars up the corner. He was always scared of the phone. Even though he was a bookmaker, he never used the phone, Joe Rogan. Never used the phone, and he would never have a conversation close to a phone. Wow. This is because he always felt he did not like phones. He did everything like a pigeon. He would write the numbers on a little piece of paper, real small, and fold them up and put them in his hat. And if he ever saw cops, he would just eat the piece of fucking paper. He didn't give a fuck. He always had the piece of paper somewhere close. Sometimes he would put it in his ring. This motherfucker was a savage, dog.
Oh, my God.
So that night, the cops were going to jump on us on the bar, but it was for a drug thing. It wasn't for him. But when I went back, I told him, "Listen, the cops are up the corner." And me and him, he grabbed me by the hand, and him and I walked from 29th and Bergen Line to 58th and Bergen Line down to Hudson, telling different bar owners that there was going to be a raid. Like, that's how untrustworthy he was of phones. And by the time we got back to the bar, we got raided. And there was a dude in there. His name was Monina. Right? Monina is those crazy Cubans that are Abaquá. Monina means good man. Like, you're my brother. Yeah, they're Abaquá. They're the
What does
ones
that mean?
They don't eat pussy. And they don't eat pussy, and you can't fuck around with animals because of Saint Lazarus and all that shit.
Oh, they have a very specific religion?
Yeah, they have. They're men. It's a manhood. They were longshoremen in Cuba.
Wow.
And they maintain order. So
Really?
if you fuck up, they come over and fuck you up. But he had a wig. I'll never forget this. The guy Monina had a wig, and the cops were there. And they threw him, and I'm like 12, dog. I'm up against the wall. They're searching me too. They're searching my stepdad. They got my mom, and they went to Monina, and they searched him. And the cop looked at his wig, and he goes, "Check the wig." And they pulled the wig off, and he had a little aluminum foil with cocaine scotch taped to his head. Oh my God!
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
That whole bookmaking numbers world is fucking nuts that I grew up in. I love it still. I love it. I wonder what it's like now. There's no business in it.
Well, it's unfortunate because you think about how many bets are placed.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I mean,
there's so much money.
There's so much money out there. People love to gamble. Fucking games, when games are on, people love to gamble.
What do you think is spent this weekend? Jamie, come on, Jamie.
But here's my question, Joey. Like, why is that a problem? Like, what's helping us by letting them regulate that shit? Like, why? Why does that? Why do you have to have a license to gamble? Why? You know, if you think someone's not paying their taxes and you can prove it, is it because it's money, it's cash that's being thrown around mostly? Like, what? Why is it an issue? The government's not getting their piece? It seems ridiculous that grown adults could tell other grown adults they can't gamble, but you can here. But you can't there.
Bro, gambling is one of those things like legalization of marijuana, like legalization of fucking cocaine, like legalization of anything, bro. You know what? There's going to be fucking winners and there's going to be fucking losers, my friends. 2 years ago, Connecticut did an expose on 60 Minutes about women who have just lost their fucking minds gambling at Mohegan Sun because they installed, no disrespect to Mohegan Sun or casino industries, they installed these type of slot machines that could just fuck with your mind.
What?
So these women were going down there and losing fucking mortgages, houses, you know.
Sounds like a John Waters movie.
Dog, it was just something that, listen,
That's
biggest,
crazy.
listen, let's get something out of the way here. The biggest percentage of degenerate gamblers are usually women.
Really?
Let's look this fucking percentage up here.
Wow.
Women go fucking deep. It's a fucking hole. They don't give a fuck about nothing. They fucking play cards. Women fucking bang it out.
Wow.
And they bang it out while you're at work, Joe Rogan, while I'm at work. They start with a horse. Then they go to their, you know, those little tours they do in Jersey. What do you think when Atlantic City was Atlantic City, you went to Union City, right? You paid $15 to get on a bus. They gave you a coupon book, and when you get to Atlantic City, they give you $15 in quarters back. So they're basically driving you to fucking gamble and drive back. Wow. I believe in gambling. I believe in making a living. I believe that it's an itch, it's an illness, whatever. But when you're losing your house, that's where I want to know where. That's where it bothers me. Right. It's just like cocaine. It's just like drug abuse. It's just like the opiate problem. It's just like anything fucking thing else. It could fucking. You and I both know people who have lost their fucking lives gambling. Okay, you've seen people in pool halls. You see how they get, Joe Rogan. Man. There's no difference in the drug addict and the gambling addict. Not at all. No difference.
It's just as scary too because they're conscious. It's like if you see the drug addict, you see him, he's shooting up or whatever it is, and you see him fainting, you go, oh, that poor bastard. But when you see a guy who's fully in the grips of gambling, trying to figure out how to get his money back, and he's all jazzed up with adrenaline, he doesn't understand why.
See, there's gamblers like Michael Jordan, then there's gamblers like Joey Diaz. There's gamblers who have the means to gamble. And that is a fucking killer also.
Like a Michael Jordan.
Like a Michael Jordan.
Right.
And I'm not saying nothing bad about Michael Jordan. These are just accusations that you hear that he even bets on his own one-on-one basketball games. Like he was very competitive.
Oh, yeah.
But not how Joey Diaz was doing it. Not how people...
Charles Barkley lost nearly $30 million gambling, it says.
Yeah. Dog.
Jesus, Charles.
Joey.
Damn, how much money does Charles Barkley have?
How many people did you grow up with that were like Joey Diaz that did not have the means, that were 19 years old?
Yeah.
Okay, and one night they put a 10-time bet in on a fucking Knick game and they won $50. When you're 19, $50 is a lot of fucking money.
That's a lot of fucking money.
So now you think you got the world by the balls, so you do it again on Friday, Saturday, and now you enter this world, Joe Rogan, that gets dark. It's instead of the drug addiction or the alcohol addiction, every morning you wake up like, is today my lucky day? It's like the people who go to the 7-Eleven every day and you're trying to just get a pack of rolling papers. You're just in a rush. You just left jiu-jitsu. You just want rolling papers and water. And there's a guy in front of you, and he's telling you, give me 368s, 464s, and this poor fucking whatever gives him 20 lottery tickets, and it's $118. This is what this guy's doing every day, 7 fucking days a week, my friend. And he might be winning $200 a fucking week, but every week he's getting deeper and deeper into a fucking hole because in your mind you think today's your lucky day. And it's never your luck. I was in that hole when I was 19, dog. And I saw a friend lose $80,000 when you're 18 years old and he had to get 3 jobs. And I never really fucked with that again. I learned that addiction. That shit left my world early. You know who's a degenerate loser gambler?
Who?
John Gotti. He won it because they brag.
Right.
That's their conversation.
How much they made,
You
how much
have no
they
fuck.
lost.
Get away from me. You have no fucking idea. If I had fucking Michigan in the hook, I would have made 30,000. They lose 80, 90, 200,000 a weekend. The system is designed to bury the degenerate gambler. Like from August 15th.
Look at this. John Gotti's secret obsession that waged 600 bets in Scrabble and a $3,000 Monopoly buy-in.
You have no idea, guys. With the degeneracy, for like 7 months, I played this fucking ugly game, Joe, that I would start. I knew the action. I knew that you had to bet on Monday nights and try to win. And you know what? I lost every week. And all these people who sell you information, listen, Art Schlietzer played the fucking game and lost. Pete Rose bet and lost. Even Michael Jordan bet and lost.
Yeah.
There's rumors that that's why he was asked to play baseball for a few years, because it was a cover-up. Again, I did not write this. This is just things I hear on the road. Everybody has a fucking... Bro, gambling grabs you fucking weird, bro.
Weird.
And it grabbed me for a long time. I kept thinking that was the day. And I kept betting 40-timers.
What's up, Jamie?
If they had a problem playing Scrabble, they would call up the Parker Brothers hotline like mobsters would to dispute the rules and have them explain what was going on.
What's the fucking rule? Laminkia is a word.
He's playing Monopoly.
Staminkia is a word, Joe. Staminkia is not a word. Staminkia is a word. Wiki dude. He told me. I saw Staminkia. That's why they were getting to arguments.
About spelling
Garbage
and
man.
Shit. What's a real word?
Garbage man, cafe. You know.
Oh, my
bro,
God.
No, gambling is a fucking nightmare. And once you get caught in the web and Joe Rogan shuts me down, then I start putting bets with Jamie. And then pretty soon, I start fucking dipping into accounts. And pretty soon, now you're done. Now you get forced into a bad hand.
I told you that I was a backer on the road for a while, my friend Johnny B. When I started making money doing stand-up, I'd put together a little bankroll, and me and him would go places and gamble. And he would win or lose. You know, sometimes he'd win, sometimes he'd lose. But it was just being in action. It was fun. You know, that kind of gambling. Like, I was never good enough to, like, play those guys, but I could play, like, people that were, like, my level, and you'd bet, like, $20, or maybe if you want to get crazy, bet, like, $50. I never bet, like, a lot of money gambling on pool, but it makes you think more. It makes you play, like, way more serious. It's good for your game. And if you can have a friendly sparring partner that you play, like, friendly games, like maybe a race to 7 for $20. So it's cost you probably in any city pool halls. I don't know what the rate is per hour, but they got to be like at least $20
all right,
an
once
hour.
Once and for all, I want you to break it down for me. I walk into a pool hall with Jamie.
Yeah.
I got 10 G's cash in my pocket. Jamie's my main man. How do I exactly make money? And why is it that the people in the room pass money around? And how does that money get dispersed?
It's real simple. Everybody puts, like, you put in. I'm in for 100.
Jamie's my boy.
Like, it depends on who's putting it together, because they might decide to just pool in all their money. Like, everybody put in on one side, pool in money, and, you know, and back this guy. Or they might be betting on the side. They might not even be playing the game. There's always side bets. Side bets are probably more, like, if you had a bet, if you had like a big pool game, right, there used to be a place called, what is it, West End Billiards, I think, in New Jersey. West End. I think it was called, see if you find West End Billiards. It was a world-famous pool hall. We would take the drive from New York to go down to New Jersey to this famous pool hall that would have these, like, serious high-level professionals play there. And real high-level hustlers from all over the country would go there for big money games. You could go there and watch people play for $5,000, $10,000. I mean, the best in the world would be there all the time. I got to play against some of the best in the world. They killed me, but I got to play against them. Like, real good guys. You just enter the tournament. Say if you and I are in the tournament, and you are Efren Reyes, like the greatest of all time, or Earl Strickland, or Johnny Archer, and I'm just Joe Rogan. I barely could play. It doesn't matter. I put my money up. I enter the tournament, I can play against you.
Now-
Unless it's a huge, like, where you have to get invited.
So now does Joey Diaz come on the side and go, listen, I'm putting 3-1 odds on this?
Sure, some people definitely
Okay,
do.
so
Definitely do.
that's a side bet.
Yes, side
Okay.
bets all over
I
the
don't
place.
know how the pool.
I got
hall-
$100 on Archer. You know, oh, you've never seen this Diaz kid play. I got 100 on Diaz, and dudes will go, I'll take that, and then you just work it out, and everybody works it out. But when sometimes guys will get together and back somebody too. Like say if you got like a friend that's a really good player, and this guy's coming in from out of town, and he wants to take a crack at him, and go, well, he wants to play $100 sets. Okay, and then you have to think, how many barrels do we have? You pool all your money together. Okay, we got 4 barrels. That means if he wants to play sets, we can lose 4 times. So you have to be able to lose a couple, gain a couple. Like if you're going to really play a guy out, these guys would play 10, 12 hours. They would keep going back and forth and back and forth. It's crazy. Like I've seen guys, and you would see them the next day, they'd still be playing. You'd go there in the morning, they'd be playing all through the night. I don't know what the fuck they were on. Most likely some sort of amphetamines. That was a big thing in the pool world for a while. Guys would just break each other with gambling. It would be about who quits. It wouldn't be about who won. It's very rarely about like you would be frowned upon highly if you left on top. Say if you're ahead by $500 and you want to quit me, and I'm still ready to keep playing. I still got more money, man. Let me win my money back. If you just walked away, nope, I've got what I wanted. I'm going to leave now. Like that would be you'd be what's called bad action.
Well, guys, I got 2 kids. I got to get up at 7 and go
Shouldn't
bring
be
them
out in
to
the
school.
pool hall, motherfucker. With 2 kids, you're not playing that kind of pool. There ain't nobody with 2 kids playing that level pool in pool halls, like gambling and
There's a
hustling.
pool hall.
Maybe now there are. There's actually a few guys. I take that back. There's a few guys with kids that are top of the food chain.
There's a pool hall a mile from my house. Whenever I go into Hollywood now, I can't do Laurel Canyon no more, so I got to go the long way. And I get off on Victory just to see it fucking always filled with degenerates. I'm petrified to pull in there.
Those places were home to me.
You know which one I'm talking about, right? Next to the strip
Yeah.
club? Is that a good
on,
one?
Is that on Victory?
Right when you exit there, there's a strip club right next to a pool hall.
Well, I know the only good one in this area. Well, I shouldn't say the only good one. The only good one I know of is House of Billiards in Sherman Oaks, like this area.
Have you've been
place
on
is great.
You've been on the 101. Have you seen what that place is? That where you took me there a couple times to eat. We did comedy there. Remember Hollywood Billiards? You took me there on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
It's fucking a building.
What is it now?
Go there next time.
What does it look like?
I don't, Joe. Next time I drove by and I was like, oh my God, that used to be. We did comedy there.
Dude, we did
Joe
comedy
took
there.
me to eat there with Ari a couple times.
We played pool there a bunch of times. That place was great.
It's fucking done. That whole area is completely different.
That's where I met Crazy Max Eberly.
Really?
Yeah, that dude can play some fucking pool. Woo!
So when you play Max Epley, how much do I have to put up? Can I still put up 1-1?
Yeah, I would get tortured. You would have to bet like that. I would go to. You're never gonna bet on me. Like a guy like Max Eberly, he's top of the food chain as far as his technique and delivery. He could win a world championship tournament, like legitimately. He's that good. I have no chance. Like if we play 12 games, I might win a couple. I might get lucky and win a few. Maybe I'll win 4. He's going to win way more. He's going to get to 12 for sure, quicker. It'd be a terrible bet. The bet would be how many games do I get to? That would be the bet. If you say you'll never get past 3, because a guy like Max Aberle can run 10 racks in a row, and I'm not exaggerating. I've seen him do it. Blam, breaks, runs 10 racks in a row. And to the point where you're sitting there. He did it in Vegas. We were all hanging out. I think it was, was it Ari? I forget who came with me.
That's when you guys were going to the Italian place.
Yes, that place was amazing, and
It's
that's where
done.
exactly where
It's done,
Max was playing. He would break and run out on guys, and they would just get frustrated. They'd be like, "What the fuck, man?" They just didn't get to shoot. We watched him. He was gambling some guy, and when the set was over, the guy was just pissed off because Max just wouldn't miss. It was crazy. Just watch him. He's playing a guy that really just wanted to take a chance and play like a top of the food chain guy, and he gambled with him. But just watching the difference between a kid who can play a little pool is pretty good versus a world championship caliber pool player. They're so precise. Like his technique is so clean and his angles are perfect and he's just effortlessly moving the cue ball on the table to where he wants it. He sees clusters and problems way in advance and breaks them up. It's so high level. That's my boy. That's Max Alberly. He taught me how to play pool. Not that I didn't already play it before I met him, but he taught me how to play it way better, way better. He made my game way more technical. He was explaining things that I was just guessing before, and he was explaining what was wrong with my approach and like what's a better way to do it. He's a wizard when it comes to technique.
Now, he can make a living going from pool hall to pool hall, or no way, because he's that good.
Well, he's an artist too. Fortunately for Max, he makes pretty cool artwork. Like a lot. See, some of it's probably on his Instagram
I thought he
page.
did pool cues or something.
No.
Who's
Max,
our friend that does pool cues? Who does pool cues? Somebody along the way he said he makes like fucking 8G pool cues,
Yeah.
ivory.
Eric Crisp. That's my boy Eric from
There
Sugar
you go.
Tree.
Somewhere,
Sugar Tree.
somebody.
That's what I play with. I play with his cue. His cue is he's a wizard, man. He's a guy who's like really into like the grains of woods. He's really into like patterns, and he thinks of like, to him, wood is like mesmerizing. He finds like the most beautiful pieces of wood and combines them together, and they have to have a certain harmonic frequency. Like he drops them on the cement floor, just like dink, dink. Like he wants to hear a certain sound from the wood. Otherwise, he won't use it. He's like finding logs on the side of the highway and shit and recognizing some weird hardwood that no one's ever used before, and he cuts it up and makes a cue out of it. He's a wizard. Like his cues are, and he doesn't give a fuck. He makes as many as he wants. Sometimes he don't make them for a while. Makes them for his friends. Won't let me pay for one. I have to pay for everything just to not feel terrible. He's like the nicest guy ever. Play some fucking pool too.
So I don't even know when this podcast started and
It's
when
on.
it began.
It's happening.
But it's funny. Before we started, we were talking about 4.8 billion.
Oh my
on the
God.
Super Bowl.
3% will happen in Nevada.
That's it.
Only 3%. So
Yeah.
is most of it online?
Online.
What was
and-
that Chris Christie thing you pulled up earlier, Jamie?
Listen, G, online and banks.
Banks.
There's still people who are like, they got a ton of loot.
Chris Christie goes to the Supreme Court on sports betting. Is he trying to get sports betting legalized?
So they passed something in New Jersey, I think in 2011, to allow betting in sports, but it's still only allowed in Vegas because of the whatever law there is.
I'm back on your team, Chris.
Yeah.
All right?
So he has a
You
Supreme
might
Court
have a
case
few
going.
problems, but we all do.
There's 17 states also with him on this. I think they want to do it. And
What do they want it? So he opposed it, or
They want it again. They want betting again because they have an NHL team in Vegas, and that's always been like the logic is that there'll be some issue, whatever. You can't be betting where there's sports being played because
Right.
someone will throw the game.
Everybody should be able to bet. Every city should be able to do whatever you want.
As long as they
an
tax
adult.
you.
Yeah,
and
exactly. You're an
what
adult.
What are you gonna do, man? What
You're an
the
adult.
fuck are you gonna do?
And these games, though, I'm fascinated by these games you say are hypnotizing ladies and they're going crazy, losing all their money.
There was a 60 Minutes. Did a whole
did a
show
whole piece
about
on
it,
it?
a whole piece on these games that are like laserish, and people were actually, but the percentage was higher amongst women because of its. So let me explain something to you.
Because of its
It's just it's like video games, only
Right.
gambling. It's very fucking
so addictive like a video game, but
yes,
also you're gambling.
Very gambling.
Oh.
So that's what their beef was, to remove these type of games. Because I'm telling you, since I was a kid, first off, I lived with my mother. She had a lot of problems. She had a lot of great issues, but she was a degenerate gambler on baseball. Between the Boston Red Sox and the New York Mets, they killed her. They killed her. And I saw the decline. I saw what it did. I saw a person watch 2 baseball games at the same time. Remember, in those days, you didn't have split screen and direct TV. So if you were Puerto Rican, you took one TV and you put it on top of the other TV, and you got fucking NBC, and you had cable when it came with the cord. Remember when HBO still had the cord to the fucking thing, and it was a thing with a box that you pressed and you switched 3 levels? In those days, maybe there was no and there was no ABA package or NBA package.
Right.
You got like one other game, so we would pray that it would be the Boston Red Sox, and she would watch both fucking games and gamble at the same time. Not even that, the numbers. If she had a dream about a goat, bam. If she had a dream about going back to Cuba,
That sounds
bam.
so
If she
much
had
like
a
my family.
If she had a dream about seeing her daughter, bam, it was a number. They would call her. They would call her at 2:45 because she had all those contacts. So that was that gambling. Then there was the track addiction, which started at Aqueduct in the afternoon. If the sun was shining, that was an excuse to go to Aqueduct for my mother. Let me go to Aqueduct. I'll see you at 3 after school. And she'd be there at 3. But the whole time she'd be scratching because the Meadowlands started at 8. So she knew she could catch the Meadowlands at 8. So guess what happens then if you lose the 8 o'clock Meadowlands?
What?
You haul your ass to Yonkers with the death of death. This is where you go to, before you go to a pool hall and sell your blood. You go to Yonkers Raceway. Do you understand me? Have you ever been to Yonkers Raceway?
I've heard of it. I
Yeah,
never
you
went.
leave there at 1:45. Where do you think you're going? You're either going to sell your soul or give your blood so you go shoot pool because you're saving the day. You cannot go home a loser.
Right.
And there's all day gambling.
Oh my God.
So that was her thing. So I also grew up in an Italian family that the mother was, Joe, it was like a fucking act. It was like an act. She had 3 kids. They were tremendous kids. I knew the husband. He worked for a big corporation. They drove a nice car. They went to church. But on Saturdays, when I go over there, I would always go, "Where's your mom?" And they go, "Our mom plays cards with the Rogans and this name." But as I got older, one day somebody said to me, "Dog, be careful when you go over there. Why? They might shoot that lady in the head. She owes like $600,000. I mean, and when I was a kid, I was like 13, and somebody came to me. They said, "Be careful when you go over there because the mom's a little bit on those card games." And then as I got older,
Imagine being scared for your life from a card game. Imagine being scared for your life.
well, it was a different game.
Yeah.
You know, that's how they suck
yeah.
you in. So a lot of the people. Now, I also grew up with men, degenerate gamblers, but I know all the symptoms. I know the itch. This thing on 60 Minutes just spoke about this addiction with a computer thing with women. That was it. That was really interesting. But I know how it fucking creeps up on you.
It was on a couple years ago. It's called Slot Machines, the Big Gamble.
Oh, so it's just slot machines in general?
These
they
type
have,
of slot machines.
These computer ones?
Yes.
They have an effect on women in particular? Maybe man the fuck up, ladies. How about that?
No, dog.
Here's my take on this whole gambling thing. Like, you remember horse betting in New York? Like, you'd go to the horse, you'd go to...
Off-track betting.
Yeah, it was right there.
Right there. They
Right there.
they made that for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to make it legal. This is legal. Come on, this is legal.
It's not legal. It's to take a piece, Joe Rogan.
Yeah, no, I'm saying
They
that.
want their
Yeah.
piece. Have you been to a medical marijuana store recently?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
What are they like?
If it's $60, your tab is now $76.
Because of taxes?
It's $16 in taxes if you buy something for $60.
The thing about weed, though, is it goes so far. Think about how much, like, $100 worth of weed goes. You could be on the moon for 3 days. For 3 days. You could be on the moon. With the proper edibles? Get $100 worth of the proper edibles? How much do you think you can handle? How many Jombos do you think you
afternoon.
could handle? You ever have a Jumbo?
Yeah.
What do they have? Like,
Just depends on, I think, 100 to 200 or something.
yeah,
like that.
dude, I fucked up and ate half a Jumbo once. I felt my cells. I felt all the cells in my bones. I felt like where the tendons connected on my spine. Like, it's like you could get fucking blasted on, and then it'll last you 12 hours, and then take the other half. That's another 12 hours.
Now, are the taxes higher in Las Vegas, Jamie, than they are here for weed?
It's 35% here, I think.
How much?
35.
And what's in
Hollywood,
Vegas?
It's high, but it depends on if it's
Bro, they
rec or
changed
medical.
the motherfucking game, dog. Like, there's
Yeah.
no more Stars of Death.
That's so silly.
There's no more Hello Tushies. The TKOs, I bought the final fucking, I got a cartel. I'm like Pablo Escobar. I got a fucking cachet of the ones I ate this morning, those the TKOs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't find them, but I got a cartel. I got a league. They become like Cuban cigars.
Oh, my
They're
God.
like Cuban cigars now. So some people are just going to keep going. There's no more. Like I told people, there's no more stars, but there is stars. You know, there ain't, but there ain't. Like people are going fucking bananas now because now you got to see the. Like I only go to 2 weed stores, but I go to one that's by the book, and I go to one that they just said, you know what? We're like Stipe Miocic. We don't give a fuck. This is immigrant mentality. We open at 6. We close at 10. We give away free bagels if you come at 6 o'clock. And you got to see it. They're rocking and rolling.
Wow.
And they're going to sell those 200 milligram stars till people go down the fucking end.
Wow.
Or the DEA comes in and shuts them down. They don't give a fuck. There's 2. Like if you're on Ventura Boulevard, you got to be really cool. Because you're done.
I don't think there's anything wrong with having a limit on the number of milligrams if that's going to keep it legal. And that's also probably
they just
for
created a
lot of
black
people.
market. Some
They
people
did.
that are
They
jumping
created a
up and
black
down.
market.
That's it. You know how much it costs? You know how much it's going to cost the stars of that dude to stay open?
How much?
$500,000.
Oh my God.
Because it's $70,000 just for the license cheap money. They take that paper up front. They're like Led Zeppelin. They're like Peter Grant in 1975.
But look, the economy's going to improve, and they're still going to kill it.
Oh no,
Even
the
with all that.
economy's going to improve.
Economy's
But I'll
gonna go
tell you what,
crazy.
how much are they going to take right off the top?
They're gonna
Because
take
they're
it.
banging.
They're gonna-
They looked at Colorado's thing and said, "Listen,
Mm-hmm.
we're coming in with steroids. We're coming in with THC. Forget what they're doing. Listen
Mm-hmm.
to what we're doing. Just to set shop now, we don't care if you've been in business or not. Just to set up shop." We got to get a piece of
But
the
here's
action.
the
Okay,
thing:
and
it would be
listen.
fine if they worked deals out with banks and made it easy and acceptable for these guys.
it's gonna be acceptable
But it's
now.
right. In a lot of places, it wasn't. They were dealing in cash. They hired, especially in Colorado in the early days, they had to hire a lot of like spec ops guy. I love saying spec ops. Like I know what the fuck I'm talking about. It just sounds cool. They would hire like former SEALs and shit, and they would have to carry the money to the bank because everybody knew there was like giant sums of cash. So it made it very dangerous. They weren't allowing them to use banks or credit cards, rather. They weren't allowing them to, sell weed with credit cards. But they were selling weed and credit cards in L.A. medical in the 90s.
The hot store, when you turned me on to my license, the hot store at the time, which they're not there no more, that dude at the height of it was walking out of there every day with 25 grand by himself and his wife.
Wow, that's dangerous.
But you know what? He was as dumb as fuck. When the DA came, he had half that cash in a safe right then and there. They just swooped on it.
I know a guy who got shot. He was a really nice guy, and he used to work at the Inglewood Wellness Center. And this was the early days of the medical legalization. It was like, I want to say it's like somewhere around 299, somewhere in that range, 2099. And he apparently was coming out with a big bag of cash, and someone shot him right in the stomach. Took his money.
They didn't take care of themselves.
Took all the cash. There was nothing
You
you
got to
could
hire
do.
people.
Yeah, you got to hire people.
You got to hire people. I see amateur mistakes.
Yeah, I saw this,
constantly.
Jamie.
I see amateur mistakes constantly. For example, the store I'm talking about, he lost everything, Joe Rogan. You want me to tell you why he lost everything? Any weed he got, this guy was an exotic guy himself. Like, he was ahead. When you're ahead, you love when somebody brings you. So he bought as much as he could.
I love that expression, ahead.
He was ahead.
Nobody uses that
They
anymore.
don't use that anymore. So what he would do is when you walked into this place, he would have 60 weeds on the wall. And he kept all his weed on the property. When the feds came, it was like stealing. He had everything there. Everything was there wide in the open. You have to have an apartment, and you have to have an amount. 6 ounces is all you should have of one weed. If Jamie comes in and he wants 8 ounces, give me 10 minutes. I got a pigeon that'll bring it over here in 5 minutes. Right across the street there. I got a little apartment with a stash there. You have a couple safes. You have to. If the cops ain't gonna let you deposit it, you got to be fucking creative. If you read all these guys' stories, the hardest. Joe Rogan, you ready for this expression? The hardest thing is what to do with all the cash. Think about that problem, Joe Rogan. Seriously, now,
It's a real problem.
No, think about this room filled with $100. What was the movie I just watched? Oh,
Escobar?
Oh, no. I just on a plane. When you're on a plane and Tom Cruise is on, you got to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Oh,
I got an edible in me. I watched the Barry Seal thing.
How was it?
It's not an Academy Award winner, but it's very interesting when we're just burying money, Joe Rogan. $4 million a shot, like me and you are in the yard, like burying money, like a suitcase with $100 bills falling out of it, and you don't give a Frenchman's fuck.
I always wanted to know this. Snopes this. Did Barry Seal die with George Bush's phone number in his pocket? That's what they always said. And he died. They shot him on the way to the trial with George Bush's phone number in his pocket.
Bro, he was top notch, that guy. He had it all. He's seen it, bro. He took pictures of them loading a fucking plane in Nicaragua with Escobar and the top aide in Nicaragua. They had him by the fucking balls. No matter what, that took balls.
Fuck yeah, it did.
They fucked him in the ass. They told him that they wouldn't release the pictures.
Yeah.
Then they released the pictures, which was douche, and that's why the guy got shot. That's fucked up. They should have taken him and hidden him. He fucking...
It's interesting, though. They assassinated that guy. That's a 100% assassination in connection to some sort of illegal government.
It was the fucking... What illegal? What are you talking about? That was Escobar that sent the bird a message.
They had a deal where Barry Seals could land, though, right? Like, it wasn't part of the thing was with the people on the ground.
On the ground.
That was in Mena, Arkansas, right?
But here's the problem. This is where Eddie Bravo comes in.
Right.
They were landing in those Everglades. Don't quote me on this.
Right.
Eddie broke it down for me, and somebody else broke it down for me, to be honest with you. And they were allowing that on your boy's clock, Clinton's clock.
That's
and Netflix,
theory.
The whole thing.
Theory
That's when Joey Diaz drops out.
Right.
I don't
but
know
let me
nothing
tell you the
about
truth,
that.
because the truth is fascinating. The truth is 2 boys were murdered. And the coroner, the official report they gave to the parents was that they had fallen asleep on the train tracks. So the parents pay for some sort of an autopsy, and it's revealed that the kid had been stabbed, and that one of them had been stabbed. And then they find out that around that same area was where those guys would drop their drugs before they landed. They would parachute down their drugs. They would land. And these guys, they would drop points where they would put their shit, and then someone else would come by and pick it up on the ground.
Right, you had coordinates.
Right. And these kids apparently saw something they weren't supposed to see, so they fucking murdered these kids with knives. And then the coroner was all in on it. So they had to conduct some sort of independent. So that is what got this whole Barry Seals thing going. It was this lady trying to figure out, this parents trying to figure out what happened to their kids.
You know, Joe Rogan,
It's a fucking crazy story.
You have to imagine, okay, that these guys were getting, let's just throw a number. I'm just an idiot, but let's just throw a number. They were probably getting $4,000 per kilo. What would they put on those planes? And they were sending 5 of those planes over a day and dropping them in Louisiana. This is when, listen, and I told you 1,000 times on the podcast, in '83, they found a bear dead next to a duffel bag filled with cocaine in Aspen, Colorado, in the mountains. Because they were dropping the fucking coke in the mountains.
And the bear ate the
and
coke?
the bear ate the coke, and he fucking OD'd. His heart blew up.
Oh, what does this say? Oh, okay, Barry Seal. Seal had organized a sting operation where he managed to get photographs of Pablo Escobar helping Nicaraguan soldiers to load 1,200 kilos of cocaine onto a C-123 military plane. Soon afterwards, Reagan went on television with the photograph to denounce Sandinistas as drug smuggling, corrupting, ...
That's how much he was getting for that fucking load.
$4,800,000 for
and
one
he was
load.
For one fucking load. Now here's the tricky
God
thing.
damn.
Here's what really pisses me the fuck off. That I see Narcos and I see everything, but now this is your Uncle Joey talking to you, Joe Rogan.
Please show me the good side of Pablo Escobar.
No. I'm not gonna. No, there's no good side to Pablo Escobar. This ain't Lee Harvey Weinstein. This is a story that we have never brought up, but you have to assume, okay? You see all these shows and the whole fucking thing, and they were in bed for sure with Nicaragua.
Yeah.
Now, who else was in bed with Nicaragua?
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Do you think that it is the actual CIA, Or is it people? Or if it, when it was, let's not even say CIA, DEA, FBI, made a bunch of fucking letters, put them together. Is it the actual organization, whichever one it is, that's bringing it in? Are they complicit? Or are there just cowboys? See, the theory's always been that there's been these few cowboys, corrupt guys. Maybe they get too close to drug deals, too close to the drug deal, and then sometimes they get seduced. Like, there's many, many stories of undercover cops getting seduced by the actual lifestyle of being a criminal. Young kids, they probably did a little crime themselves here or there. They see some cops doing some dirty shit. They see some guy, you know. There was that thing that came out about, was it Baltimore? What is the city where cops had, it came out in trial, they had kept toy guns on them to plant at the scene of a crime? Like if they just decide to shoot somebody,
this is the
they
municipal.
plant a fucking toy
We're
gun.
talking in the big picture, the big world picture. As an intelligent individual as you are, it was plain and simple. The CIA wanted a piece of their action, and the DEA was tricked into going down there to really control the war. You can't be this. I'm not saying you. As an American, you can't be this dumb.
So
after all the research that we've done,
right?
All the research that we've done with General North, he was in on the package with Barry Seal, the whole fucking thing. And here's where it gets even deeper. Let's talk about the deepest subject that nobody ever even looked at, and you have to think of, because I heard this story 1,000 times. There was a guy by the name of Carlos Leder that he got crazy. You know, they show him getting his dick sucked on the radio in Colombia and everything, and all these TV shows. No, he was on an island snorting coke with long hair, talking like Jim Morrison, and having fucking threesomes. And the fucking the own cartel gave Leder up to the La DEA to keep them off their back. It was 5 partners. It's me, you, Jamie, and Red Band. But fucking Red Band's out there doing videos of him snorting coke with a fucking pigeon on his head. We can't have this. They gave the DEA fucking Carlos, that calmed things down for a while. When in 83 and 84, when Reagan sent his troops down there, don't quote me on the dates here, but I will tell you as a professional cocaine sniffer what was going on. In 85, the price of cocaine went skyrocketing. And it wasn't, I'm sick and tired, it wasn't because of cocaine skyrocketing. It was because the cocaine was coming in, but the toughest part was getting the ether alcohol into Colombia to process it. The Colombians had got a tip that the troops were coming down to raid their jungles. Now, what they have not told you in all these shows and research, but this is what Uncle Joey's going to drop on you, is where do you think they took they took some labs to Nicaragua, and they shipped cocaine out of Nicaragua. But guess who else partnered up with them too? Your buddy Fidel. Fidel was shipping it in. Yeah, he's going to be on the podcast in 3 weeks. Can you imagine having Fidel on your podcast?
That would be the shit. You and Fidel, you would translate.
Oh, my God. This whole block would have snipers
everywhere
and fucking everybody. Fidel just walked in with his suit, and you had to teach him like a UFC move and shit. Because Fidel would come in and ask you, Señor Rogan, dime cómo es que usted trabaja aquí. Because they were, anyway. But he
was a serious man. I'd be very nervous in the presence of a guy like that.
Leder said in front of Congress that he was getting $800,000. He was giving Fidel $800,000 a shipload to come in under his flag at the time.
Could you imagine being in the presence of Fidel Castro? Just being in his presence. Like if he was, in his prime. If you're in the room with him in his prime, knowing how he ran Cuba,
you have no idea.
How he took it over.
You have no idea.
He would be.
You have no idea.
Terrifying to be around.
As a Cuban American, you have to hate the guy. I have to hate him. But as a man that thinks, you have to see what his path was.
Crazy.
Again, that's where my man T.J. English comes in with Havana Nocturne. The revolution, how he started it in 3 different places at once. The revolution, it just wasn't 8 monkeys that put on gorilla suits and went to the mountains of Cuba.
Right.
He came to Jersey first, got arrested. Went to Tampa, got arrested. He was already passing out flyers.
Right.
They always confuse Lee Harvey Oswald. No, it wasn't Lee Harvey giving out pamphlets. It was Fidel Castro giving out. That's a joke. Please don't quote the CIA. It's a joke. I'm not ratting you out. Fidel Castro was in Union City, New Jersey. I can't tell you the dates, but I can have my friend call into the podcast and tell you the story about Fidel talking to his mother on a daily when she would wait to get on the bus. She was an Irish girl in Union City. And she goes, I knew Fidel in 1952 in Union City.
Just think of what he did to the Italians. He kicked everybody out. He's
He
like,
didn't
I
give
got
a
you.
fuck.
He goes,
He
I
didn't
got
give
your
a fuck.
casino. Your casino's mine now.
It was
Fuck
a
off.
very brilliant move. He started in the mountains. He fucking...
It's crazy.
He just took over little villages. And then he changed their minds. Because, first of all, it wasn't an easy thing to them to do. Batista was really fucking the country. He had really divided the country. You have no idea what racism was, too. You were in Cuba in 1955. Black people weren't allowed in casinos. You have no idea. These poor people today, everybody's crying about. You have no idea what black rights were in Cuba for those black fucking people. They got no rights. So those people were poor. There was such a high level of dun-dun, and you see all these people dancing, but on the other side, there was fucking famine. Like, people were fucking dying. So they wanted a change. Fidel came in there as a hero, first of all. He came in as Cuba was going to change, but then he switched it on him. And he aligned with Russia, and he became a communist. That's what made it worse. That's what made it worse. Racism and hunger has always existed in Cuba. It did. That was the problem. That they always showed that party side of Cuba. But that other side of the island, bro, there was people starving.
Wow.
And Batista, come on. Batista.
How did they keep up the tobacco production?
That I don't know.
They still think of that, Joey.
But now
through all that, they had the best cigars in the world.
But that people complaining now that they're not the same cigars.
Some people are complaining, but a lot of people are getting frauds, apparently. Apparently, when you buy Cuban cigars from untrusty people, you could definitely get some fakes.
Because now they're talking about how the soil isn't rich. Like, people will go
Somebody's
there.
an expert. Oh, Bobby Kelly. Bobby Kelly's a real expert. Like, he was on Ari Shafir's podcast. They were talking about cigars. Bobby Kelly really knows his shit. Like, he was going in depth about how many fake cigars there are and how he can even kind of taste a fake Cuban. He smoked so many cigars, and he thought maybe one of Ari's was fake. He's like, it might be fake. And he goes, no, I think this is real. I think this is real. Like, it's like he's like that discerning about that shit.
Huh.
There's a lot of weird freaks when it comes to cigars. Like, people are super into them. They get you high as fuck, too. This is something that people aren't talking about. You smoke a cigar, you're like, woo! There's so much nicotine in that
And then
thing.
you add the Cuban coffee to it.
Oh, my God.
That's how the
Always.
whole process is supposed to go down, with the Cuban coffee
That's
and the
what we would
fucking
do.
cigar, and you go deep, deep, deep.
Yeah.
And all you need is a little taste of an edible and a half of Alpha Brain,
God.
and you'll be there. You'll get there, Jack. No, that's what people
Dave
are-
Chappelle smokes it with sometimes with cigarettes in it. We did it the other night in the back of the Comedy Store with cigarette. And I've
Tobacco
only done that
and
a couple of
cigar
times.
with THC.
Yeah. Woo! You get elevated. It was interesting.
I got one time from San Francisco to Reno. One time from San Francisco to Reno, dog. The cops were looking for me in San Francisco. And you go down to any of those tourist districts, and they have like a bus that'll take you to Reno. So I just jumped on the bus to Reno with this chick. And this is 1985, and we're sitting in the bus, and there's this Egyptian kid. I'll never forget this. And the back of you could smoke on the bus in those days, cigarettes. So he had rolled a blunt with hash, weed, and tobacco in it, guys. And I had never done that before, guys. I'm not going to lie. I took 2 hits of that fucking thing, dog. I had to puke in that bathroom. I got high as fuck. But that combination together, the tobacco, the weed,
Yeah.
the hash, he had the real hash on him.
Choo.
Yeah, that's too much for Uncle Joey. That's a bit much for Uncle Joey, Jack.
The first time I ever smoked a spliff was with Charlie Murphy. Charlie Murphy rolled them. His cousin Richard rolled them too. Charlie could roll. He would. That was he would take Swisher Sweets, old school, you know, any kind of cigar paper, and they would turn it into a joint with the cigar paper, which is like you inhale weed. You never really inhale those cigars. You just kind of get them in your mouth, and you taste it, then you blow it out. But when you take a drag of weed, you open your lungs up and fill your lungs with the smoke. Cigar smoke's too harsh for that. You don't smoke it like that for the most part. Most people don't. But when you do it with pot, you do. So you get this crazy blast of nicotine and a crazy blast of weed, and you're like, wow. It's very different than just weed.
I think I smoked, last night on the podcast. I took 2 hits off. A friend of mine gave me one of those.
I like those.
And it was pretty fucking
scared
intense.
of them. I'm scared of them.
Nice.
I'm scared of them. I like the ones with cigarettes in them. I'm scared.
No. I don't want no smoke.
No, I'm not smoking
tobacco.
cigarettes, but the ones with cigarettes in them, it's an interesting little high. It's like, ooh, this is a new door to the room. It's interesting.
See, that's what, like, smoking, one of the hardest things I ever gave up was smoking cigarettes after you smoke a joint.
Right.
That is just pure brilliance. When you hit a fucking joint and you take a little sip of coffee, and after you smoke that Toots, you light up a Marlboro Light. It's life fucking changing, bro.
I know a lot of people love them after a real good meal.
Well, it's the whole package.
Is that what it is?
Oh my God! Let me ask you: a meal, a joint, and then a cigarette, and then another cigarette and a cup of coffee on top of that, and some dessert. Then another cigarette. You have no fucking idea.
Cigarettes scared the shit out of me.
Oh please,
Always
they scare the shit out of
me.
everybody. I can't smoke them like
Tony's hooked.
My blood pressure will be 2,000 over 80.
Tony says he can quit at any time.
No, you cannot. No, you
think so,
cannot.
little fella.
And you know what? What was the best? What I realized was 2 years ago I shot something and I smoked that night. I asked one of the camera guys, let me fucking give me a cigarette. And that next morning was when I realized how really fucking bad they are.
You felt terrible?
Oh.
How many did you have? One?
2.
2 cigarettes?
2 Marlboro Lights, and I was fine that night.
You did one night at a comedy club, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, every now and then I want to smoke. The fuck?
No, I'll never do it again. After that night in Chicago, I'll never do it again.
I took one of Tony's once before a show. It's
No.
interesting. Cigarettes are interesting. It does a weird little thing to your brain.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
One of the reasons why I did is because I had read something about nootropics, talking about different vitamin, like what's good for brain function. And one of the things they said that nicotine is actually a nootropic, and that they found that some people under the use of tobacco, they achieve like an elevated state of like certain functions of the brain. Like it actually has some sort of a small measurable effect. So it really does stimulate the way your brain works.
I don't see. For me, it's different. It's the combination.
Yeah.
That's for me. Like I wouldn't just enjoy right now. You give
A cigarette
me
by itself, but the cigarette with the weed.
But if that coffee was brewing hot right now, and it was maybe 60 degrees outside with a little bit of wind and sunlight, where you know when you stand out in the sun you're warm, but when you're in the breeze you're a little cool.
Yeah.
You go outside, and a good joint of some fucking tremendous reefer with the sun hitting your face, and you take a nice hit of a cigarette, all combined, or even like I like what I do. I'll do a cup of coffee, I'll pop a fucking number and then a little nicotine gum to give you a little guts, some blood pressure medication on top of that. All together, it all works out. You know what I'm saying? If you take them apart, nothing really happens.
I get it.
But together, that's where you put the mofungo in.
Yeah. For me, it's a small shot of Jack Daniels and 1 to 2 hits of a joint before a Comedy Store set. Just a little tap
to taste.
Woo!
Yeah.
Just a little yikes. 1 hit is really preferred. It's a smart move. 2 hits is if you're feeling.
I did a
got an idea.
I did a tequila the other night.
Ooh.
3 points, not bad.
Oh, with you Weight Watchers.
Yeah, but
how long you doing the Weight Watchers? How long have you been doing?
I started December 9th. Wow. I went from 309 to 296 so far.
That's excellent.
But you know what, bro? Here's the stupid thing, Joe Rogan. Here's the dumbest thing in the world. I got sick and tired of people saying how clean their diet was. You don't know dick until you go to Weight Watchers. Listen, you want me to tell you what the new Weight Watchers is? You ready?
It's different?
It's Mike Dolce.
Oh, okay. So the
chicken
breast.
Right.
Chicken breast.
I come to your house tonight, and you go, Joey, what do you want? Give me 2 chicken breasts. Just the marination. I got to watch how you marinate it.
Right.
Ugats.
0 points.
0. Piece of salmon.
0.
Ugats. Beans, all types.
0.
Corn.
0. What costs money? Or what costs points?
Beef.
Beef. Beef does.
19
Bunch of
for
limp-wristed pussies over there.
No.
That's what
But
I'm
if you
hearing.
look at it, bro, check this out. You know, you do jiu-jitsu, 30 minutes, it's 16 fucking points. They fit it in. You get
your
extra
exercise,
points.
you add points.
See, I started thinking about it. I'm going, wait a second, guys.
That's smart.
Wait a second, guys. I'm doing kettlebells. I'm swinging bats. I'm hitting the bag. I'm walking around the park. I'm still gaining weight. Something's not right. So it's the butter. I don't use butter no more. I could eat my piece of wheat toast with my eggs.
Ooh,
You ready for this
better
one?
off the other way.
Ready for this
better
one?
off throwing away the toast and just eating the butter.
I don't like. I gotta have my toast, Joe Rogan.
Yeah, but eat the butter. Butter's good for you,
Joe
especially
Rogan.
if it's
Here's the
grass-fed
thing.
butter.
I get egg yolks.
Egg
You know,
yolks are great.
Yeah, I eat egg yolks. No egg whites. I cut around them.
You had a bit about that.
No.
There's a thing in the news yesterday where they were saying that people only eating egg whites is a tremendous health disservice.
Listen, 5 years ago, it don't take a fucking moron to tell you. 20 years ago, nobody was getting concussions. Nobody was getting soft. Nobody was getting their feelings hurt, especially men. All of a sudden, I saw people started eating egg whites, and I saw a big rise and people having a hard time getting their wives pregnant. All of a sudden, I saw commercials about erectile dysfunction. Men never talked about men talked about, dog, I did some blow the other night, and I didn't get my dick hard. Now, all of a sudden, there's a commercial on national TV, on prime time, some fucking guy saying that. And also, they started dropping that low testosterone shit. And I'm telling you, dog, one thing about Uncle Joey, I've always loved egg yolks. I don't even like mixing them. I think it's bad for.
Really?
I don't even like scrambled eggs. I'll eat them if you make them. If you make them nice to me with a little sour cream and a little milk and do it right, I like it. But I don't like just prison. I got to see the yolk. I got a rule. When you take me for breakfast, I always got to see the yolk. So I cut around it. The other day, the waitress said to me, "You've been coming here for a long time. You do not touch the white." And she goes, you do not touch it. I have become like a surgeon with that knife. I get the yolk perfectly. I take that wheat toast now. I don't even eat the whole 2 slices of wheat toast. I only eat a half a wheat toast. I take 1 egg yolk and put it on one side, and I eat the whole thing like Robert De Niro ate the fucking egg in Angel Heart when he wanted to scare Mickey Rourke. He just ate. That's how I do it. I put a piece of bacon in my mouth, and then I take the other piece of wheat toast, put the egg yolk on that. I take the other piece of bacon, and I eat my fruit, and that's fucking it.
That's beautiful.
I got to eat the egg yolk, though. The egg yolk, and you could eat 3 egg yolks, but you could also scramble 4 eggs, get a tortilla, put black beans in it and salsa. All that costs you is the fucking tortilla, dog.
Wow.
4 points for the tortilla. You can have a 4 fucking point breakfast. I need a bowl of fruit, and you're brand fucking new, dog.
It's amazing.
Look at this scene.
That's a great scene.
This is a
He
great
was the
scene.
devil with his creepy fingernails. Remember? De Niro was such a motherfucker. These 2 guys were such motherfuckers. It's so funny.
I'm from Brooklyn.
How crazy.
I don't believe in that mumbo jumbo.
I mean these guys were the best, man.
He just told him, "Do you believe that the egg is the symbol of the soul in some religions?" Look at, you see how scared he was?
Phenomenal. But his face when he's eating that egg. Show me that again.
That's a Brit. But look at Mickey Rourke's face. Even Mickey Rourke was shitting the
He's
pickle.
a handsome fella. Yeah, but
Poor fucking Mickey Rourke.
look at his face. Not exaggerated. That's the devil. That's about as good as a human being is ever going to do an impression of what the devil would look like if he was a human being.
Seriously.
Yeah, he wouldn't be freaking you out.
Who else played the devil? Al
That's a good
Pacino?
question. Yeah, Al Pacino! When he would do those crazy devil rants! And he would run around. Remember? It was all that, like every movie had to have a rant. I'm sick and fucking tired! Right? He went through a whole period of time where his rants were so powerful. They're like, Al, here's where we're going to put the rant. Right here. Like, right, his rants were fucking phenomenal. I mean, Al Pacino is Scarface, right? I mean, who has more epic screaming rants in film history than Al Pacino? I'd say zero.
I'm going to tell you something else about Al Pacino.
Look at him.
Nobody's hit a bitch as hard ever on TV than hard Pacino. He smacked his sister in Scarface, and he smacked that chick in The Godfather when she told him she had an abortion.
Yeah, like really smacked him.
Yeah, he really had to blast him.
Dude, it looks scary. Like, he looks like he hit her. Like, if it looks like if you're an actress and you never got hit like that before, you'd be like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Remember Steve McQueen and Ally McGraw?
Yeah, that was real. That was real.
That was real. That wasn't even supposed to be in the scene,
no,
right?
He smacked her just out of principle.
Have you ever seen that scene, Jamie? Oh, we showed it before.
We showed it before,
We are
yeah.
so repetitive.
No.
That's weed, folks. That's what you get. You get the fun stuff, but you also get
Who else
shit
played?
memory about 1,000
But they
million
also
hours.
said I also heard that fucking De Niro played a good Dracula.
Oh, yeah.
You saw that movie? Oh no,
No, Gary Oldman.
No, Gary Oldman. I'm
Gary
very
Oldman.
sorry.
No, but didn't De Niro play the Dracula in something? No, he played Frankenstein. De Niro played Frankenstein once.
Was he any good?
That was a terrible movie. It was one of those ones where you're like, wait, what? It was weird. Actually, he was pretty good as a monster, though.
These are all the actors that played the devil in
Whoa.
different movies.
What was Kaiser Soze? He wasn't the devil, right?
Yeah,
Was he?
sure.
Wow, a lot of people. Jennifer Love Hewitt played the devil? Jesus Christ. John Ritter played the devil. John Ritter did a couple episodes of News Radio.
Look at that.
At least
dude.
one.
Hold on. Look at Vincent Price, bro. Vincent Price was fucking just amazing. He really was, man. Some of those movies, he did like 2 movies that really scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, what did he do? Which movies did he do?
Oh, man. There were 2 movies.
I'm trying to remember. There was a lot of like really fun movies back then that if you watch today, you're like, what the fuck
Well,
was I
he was
thinking?
definitely on Batman, right? What was he on Batman?
House on Haunted Hill, there's his thing. House of Wax, that was a big one. House of Wax was a big one. The Last Man on Earth. He was always, it was like thought of as that like real good creepy actor guy who's good in scary movies.
What's his IMDb? I wonder if he was in Batman. Yeah. I wonder if he was in
Vincent
Batman.
Price?
He was in something.
Isn't it funny how a guy gets like synonymous with a genre of movies? Like Vincent Price, you think about, oh, scary movies. You know, there's a few guys like that. You think of their name, oh, scary movie. You know, John Romero, oh, scary movie. You know, Dawn of the Dead.
That's film. No TV on
That's
there?
his name, right? John Romero?
Yeah.
No, John Romero did what? That's the
George
horror-
Romero. John Romero is a guy who was a game developer in the early days of Doom. He was with id Software, like Doom and Quake and those kind of games.
Now, George
Different guy.
Romero was the guy that, on paper, officially started this whole zombie fucking shit.
Pretty much, right?
When we were kids, he
Dawn of
had
the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead and the other one. Dog, he has a scene in one of those. It had to be 1975. I was maybe 12 years old, maybe 13. One of those came out, and we took a hit of acid. And we all went to the movie theater on a Saturday, take the #1 bus to Jersey City, and they would play 2 of these movies, Dawn of the Dead and something else creepy.
Night of the Living Dead.
Or something fucking creeped
Yeah.
out.
Night of the Living Dead was the first one.
And there's one scene where the black guy's going for the helicopter and just chops his head off. Jesus fucking Christ, did I run out of there. Those both movies would scare the living I don't know how many times I took the #1 bus to go to Jersey City there, to Journal Square. There was a movie theater, dog. That's why I saw Richard Pryor live at the Sunset Strip the first time on a Friday night. I got stabbed. That's where I
Jesus
saw.
Christ. You got stabbed?
I got cut. I still got the scar. That's where I saw the Pink Panther movies. That was my first genre into getting high and going to the movies. Like, I knew I couldn't go to the movies in North Bergen or Union City because I'd bump into one of my mother's friends or something. So me and my little goombas figured out if we went to Jersey City, we could get on the bus, cause a little drama, get a 6-pack, split it 4 ways, and smoke a joint and go into those movies and giggle and act like an asshole. We also went down to see the Groove Tube and Kentucky Fried Movie. Kentucky Fried Movie was a genre that started before Saturday Night Live. And there was a movie put together by a bunch of sketches. But one of the famous sketches is they're in a courtroom. And
and there's a gorilla fucking people up.
Yeah, they would just say different stupid things. And the fucking guy there was nudity.
They had titties.
Yeah,
like,
they
you
didn't
could
fuck
never
around.
do this movie today.
It's on YouTube, by the way.
This was on HBO when we were kids.
Don't be a rat, Jamie.
Whatever.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
look at
this was on HBO. So you had to talk your mother into getting HBO because Groove Tube or Kentucky Fried Movie was going to be on. And they were hilarious.
You could never have this movie today.
Yes, you could.
I'm getting triggered.
Yes, you could. You could do this movie. They don't have the balls to do this movie today.
Girls are getting pied in
Look
the
at
ass.
this. Look at this. Look at this shit.
This is crazy. You could never do this in a movie today. In a regular movie, they would never allow that. Catholic high school girls in trouble, and the guy's banging a girl in the shower, and you see her tits pressing up against the glass. Like, legitimately see everything.
American Pie was not. I mean, it's not a sketch thing, but it wasn't too far different.
No, but even American Pie, I think you'd struggle to do that now.
Maybe.
I think the climate shifted so hard.
No. There's still a part of America that loves this type of humor. Joe Rogan, no.
Do you know they're trying to? They took F1 grid girls out of Formula One racing. The grid girls, like hot women.
No.
They took them out, and now they're petitioning to take octagon girls out, and ring card girls. They're saying like we need to stop this. Like they're like, what are you talking about? This is how we make a living, stupid. Like what? Who? It's the objectification of women. I think if you can have Chippendales, and you can have, I think you should have ring card boys. See who gets hired. Joey, what happened?
I am just.
These people are crazy. People are
You know,
losing their mind.
you made a point the other day with those two young men that, and I don't want to quote you. You said something about that. Somebody got mad at people with the vagina hats. Black women are mad at vagina hats.
Transgender supporters were mad because it
Listen,
represents the woman's march, and not everyone who's a woman has a vagina. That was they were upset. It's transphobic.
I'm fucking as much as an American as you are, and I'm fucking done. I'm done. I don't know what else to do anymore. I mean, 3 months ago, some guy came out with a brilliant movie, Stephen King, that scared everybody. Did he not? It was a #1 film about a clown.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden there was a parade. You know, they got together. Clowns marched in protection of clowns because ever since that movie came out, a bunch of clowns lost their jobs.
Oh, my God.
In the spring. Like, they were booked for the fall. So they we're getting to something now that's just totally out of control. I read the Amy Schumer thing with the Anzi Ansari. I read... you try to not avoid everything, but it's right in front of you. You know, every day there's something else. You're just waiting for the fucking shoe to drop every day. I am going to continue to be who I am, Joe Rogan, on stage and off stage. I don't really give a fuck about sensitivity. I can't. I'm a stand-up. I don't have time.
I feel you.
I think about it. I also watched the podcast of you with Brendan and Brian, and you talked about something that didn't happen to... No, it did happen to me, where I was at a children's school at a fair, and I tried to turn it into a bit. I just couldn't sell it to be funny. A kid was playing in front of me, and I could tell there was something not right with the child, and some other child called him a faggot. And the kid's mother came out, and she goes, he's not a faggot, he's a transgender. And then the mother came up to me. I'm high as fuck.
How old were you?
This is 3 months ago.
Oh, okay.
This is 3 months ago at a park. You know, before you go to those events, you get tuned up.
Oh, okay.
And you put Visine in your eyes, and you go down there, and you try to be as nice as you can as a parent, but you try to avoid talking to a lot of people. Your wife does all the talking. You just sit there and wave at people. Hi, how are you? Who do you think's gonna win, Machida? Yeah, Machida. And you're just watching the girls. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You try to do that, but there's always something at those events that you get back in the car with your wife and go, Mrs. Rogan, what the fuck was that about? And then they'll break it down for you. Tell me I'm lying to you.
Yeah.
At every fucking thing. It's like you were talking about the people who believe in the earth, that there was no Adam and Eve. That's what I'm starting to... When you were telling that bit, I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about. I go, who does he hang out with? This poor bastard. Who does he hang out with, this poor bastard? But now that I have a child that's 5... I'm getting out to see different people's views that are my age. And this lady came up to me and gave me a whole ear beating. How the kid is 15, they have him on medication, and he's known he was a woman since he was 9. And that, but then she fucked up Joe Rogan. She said she always wanted a girl anyway.
Oh, Jesus.
But you guys are talking about something about there was somebody that got in trouble for a 3-year-old, giving them block.
Yeah,
See, I don't know nothing about that world. I know nothing.
Owen Benjamin. He
Got in trouble.
He got fired from his agency. They dropped him because he was tweeting a bunch of shit about someone using hormone blockers on a 3-year-old. He's like, this is crazy.
What I listened to that day in where I live, I thought my head was going to blow up. And when she came over and explained why he was going to be and again,
well, here's the thing.
I
Here's
have
my
nothing
thing.
against
If a
transgenders
kid
or
is
anything.
behaving, here's my thing. If a kid's behaving a certain way, let him keep behaving that way. You don't have to fucking throw hormones in the mix. You don't even know what's going to happen when you do that. You're going to change who he is. So you're telling me that he has this urge to take hormones that are not native in his body in the same amounts. He's this urge to do this, so we should just let him do it. No, he has an urge to be identified as a woman. Like, you don't even have to do anything to do that. If you just decide you identify as a woman, most people are going to be cool with it. Like, we're saying that a child has to take some chemicals in the middle of their developmental cycle. This is the only way we can do this. This is the smart way? This is a smart way. When they're 6 or 16 or whatever it is. That's crazy. That doesn't make sense from a developmental standpoint. Like, I'm not a scientist, but I understand enough about the stages that the human being goes through before it reaches adulthood. And you're not really completely formed until you're like 20 years old or 25 years old or something like that. It's like the frontal cortex doesn't form until you're 25. So your decision making is always a little weird until you're about 25.
Who the fuck knows what the fuck they want to be at 15 and
but you
16?
definitely don't know at 6 or at 3.
No,
That's
she said that
crazy.
he knew at 9.
Come on.
And I went home and I told my wife. My wife said, "Well, you got to watch a show every week on A&E. There's a show about kids that want to, make the child." Listen, it doesn't matter. It's just that I'm trying to tell you that I'm finding out about shit now that.
But do you know what's weird? It's like, why does, if someone feels a certain way, they feel they are a certain way, why do they have to take chemicals to achieve a new state? Like, what is this? It's a weird, like, they identify with being a woman, so they have to take chemicals to reach this state. I think, man, if I was a person who's a transgender person listening to me talk, I'd be like, shut the fuck up. You don't know shit about that. I bet a lot of you cheered if you're listening to this. But all I'm saying is that this is a very unusual situation. It's very unusual. I don't think it's a bad thing, but I think that doing it to someone who really can't fully make up their mind yet just seems insanely risky, and what could happen to the kid could be terrible. And people have made successful transitions when they transitioned in their 30s. You don't have to do it when you're 6. If you want to be a transgender person and you're in your 30s, sure, or where your 20s, or whenever we decide that a human being is rationally capable of making full life decisions that are as dramatic as that.
That's what I thought that day. I was like, who the fuck makes a good decision at 16?
Nobody does,
or
man.
at 21 or 25.
But that doesn't mean that someone at 16 who thinks they're a woman couldn't absolutely become one later and be super happy with it. I'm not saying that's not possible either. Like, everything's possible. There's a thing for everybody. And if that is what you feel like is your thing, you want to be that. It's who you identify with, and you have every right. You have every right to do that.
So what you're saying, bro? You know how many fucking drugs I did between 16 and 20?
A lot.
It's not funny.
You did a lot of drugs from the time I met you. The fact that you were on a heavier schedule before that.
No, but I'm talking about, like, I tried to stay away, like I was a karate guy like you. And the kids from karate, on Saturdays, they were geeks. We either went to a martial art festival, we competed, or we went to a karate movie, or we went to a Honda martial arts supply.
I remember those places.
So we saved our money. Like, do you want to go to the movies and see the 5 Deadly Hands? No. We got to save our money. We're going to Honda next week to buy a Kaburu Tanfa. Like, we would always buy, like, the ones that you'd hold.
Yeah.
With the just so you know, I don't fuck around, G-Money.
What are you drawing? What are you drawing?
This is what, if you look at
You
those.
have like, you know how to write Chinese letters?
Yeah, if you look at those old Chinese things, they all had this on it. That's how you wrote karate. That's how you.
Wow.
That you wrote a karate like that. So you would. I knew all about this. You would buy the handle that I would hold. Remember
Yeah,
the ones when you were in Taekwondo and they had the wood in the top and they had 4 inches of canvas and you would stand in front of it and you
Makiwara.
a makiwara.
Yeah.
And it would have like your knuckles.
Those guys would really
oh my
condition
God.
their knuckles.
We would save our money. We were geeks. That's what we did at 12. But then I had little goombas in my neighborhood. And when they were 12, they did something completely different. They went behind the school and they would roll one joint and put it in a piece of glass tube and light it up, and we would drink Boone's Farm, the fruit shit, and I'd get pukey. So I didn't know who to hang out with, so I would have to be like a double agent. That was a tough job for me as a 12-year-old. I liked hanging out with my karate geeks, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I like going to competitions. I like doing forms. I like doing the semi-contact competitions where you couldn't kick above the head.
Yeah, those are good for kids.
But you don't like it anyway, but you still kick the kid and get disqualified. But fuck it, I kicked him in the jaw. Did you see,
People did that.
This is in life was simple for me. So I had to make a decision because the Kung Fu kids didn't get no pussy. They just weren't into pussy. They would talk about girls and they maybe had a crush on the girl in the 430 class, but they never asked her to come to any of the events. My other buddies were into pussy. So eventually I cut the karate fucking geeks out, and I started hanging out with the little druggies, and you make your transition into, and from those developmental ages, like I tried to hide my drug use. I tried to hide it, especially the marijuana use. For 2 or 3 years, it was just marijuana.
Wow.
Then once I became a freshman, I didn't start basketball my freshman year. I decided let's venture out into this acid thing. Let's venture out into this mescaline thing. Ooh. It was a different name. It was mescaline, but it really wasn't mescaline, Joe Rogan. It was a little tablet.
Peyote?
No, it wasn't even peyote. It was a little thing.
Aren't they the same?
Excuse me?
Isn't it a similar compound?
Peyote, yeah. But mescaline is what they sell you in the South.
Right.
They supposedly put it in tequila or something.
That's mezcal, right?
Yeah, this is something that 2 little fucking white kids made in a pill. It was rat poison with something else, and it was very tiny. It was maybe the little size of this. That's it. And it came in aluminum foil, even smaller than that.
Wow.
Even smaller than that. Way smaller. That little thing, that's it. You paid $80 for it, and you got 100 of those, and you sold them for $3 a piece. And that would fuck you up for 6 hours with a 2-hour haze in between, an hour buffer and an hour to come down. And I did that for 3 or 4 months. Then they introduced me to THC crystal, which is snorting. They sold it as, what we do is we get a bunch of stems and seeds from the reefer. We put it in a pot, and we boil that pot. And whatever separates from the stems and the seeds that goes to the sides, we scrape that off. And that's what you snort in your nose.
Oh, my God.
So I had like a personal karate rule that I would always just smoke it and do the mescaline, but I was never going to put nothing in my nose.
Oh, you had a rule like a drug addict put something in their nose.
Right, like that's it. Like that's a complete different range. I'll never shoot heroin, and I'll never put nothing in my nose.
Especially as a karate man.
As a karate man, I had karate morals.
Yeah.
I was just straying away with the reefer. And then I finally ended up snorting that fucking Gorilla Biscuit shit. Because that's what it was. It was angel dust. They
Oh, my
They
God.
just told you. And I went on an angel dust tear. Like every Sunday, me and my friend Carlos Perez would buy a 6-pack of Michelob. He only liked Michelob. Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special. The beer will pour. Must say something more. Yeah. Call it tonight.
Oh, that's Lowenbrow.
Yeah, Lowenbrow. What are we talking about?
Michelob?
Michelob. No, we would
Different
drink.
one, right?
We would drink Lowenbrow.
Lowenbrow. Oh, that one.
We would get a 6-pack of
Did I get it
Lowenbrow
wrong?
and fucking snort a $10 package of THC crystal. My mother would go to the track on Sundays, so I knew she wouldn't come back till 7. So me and him would snort it. As soon as my mother stepped foot in that car at 11, me and him would have it, and we'd snort it, and then fucking just sit around like and be fucking zombies all day.
Yeah.
But that was a development, and then I went after my mom died. I just went on an acid tab for fucking a year, all different types of. God knows what was in those goddamn things. God fucking knows.
What's going on here?
Low brow commercial.
Oh, this is the. Look at this commercial. Oh my God! Look at that guy. How about a lower brow? Wow! This is like a sketch. It's a truly great American beer. Why doesn't it have an American name, motherfucker? What are you, embarrassed? You embarrassed to be from here? American beer, Lowenbrow.
Fucking
Fuck
Lowenbrow. We used to drink Lowenbrows and shit.
Actually, it is an American beer, right? That's like Stipe Miocic. Keep your fucking real name.
Is it still
that's
around?
as American as it gets,
Is
right?
it still around?
I don't know. Lowenbrow? I don't know, but if they said Lowenbrow, if that was their name and they started the beer company and they didn't change their name, that's as American as it gets. So I'm wrong. I should shut the fuck up.
It's even looking it up. It's a German brewery. It's located in Germany.
Liars, 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 lying about American made. Apparently, they make a lot of American plants make a lot of cars now that you think are Japanese cars, like Toyota Tundras. They make them in Texas.
They make a bunch of them in Ohio too.
Yeah.
Hondas, Nissans.
That's weird, right? Like, if you think you're buying a Honda, you think you're definitely buying a Japanese car. If you think you're buying some American cars, it might be a Mexican car. How crazy is that? Like, what company's making their cars down in Mexico?
I think they closed a couple plants. I think Toyota was down there and somebody else for a while.
But here's the thing. If they put them down in Mexico, but they gave them American money, like the levels of American money that's in Mexico, they would stop doing it.
It's a lot, actually.
Wow, look at all these different ones. Chrysler has 3 plants, Ford has 3 plants, GM has 4 plants, Mazda has 1. They do it down there because it's cheaper, which I guess they have to do what they got to do, and I'm sure it helps the community, because I know it does. I know people that have had manufacturing down in these countries, and they do it for the cheap, but it does help the people. Like, there's some places that don't have much. But what's arguable is, like, why is living like a Western person so important when these people have been living their own way for thousands of years? They just didn't have like all the crazy infrastructure and all the shit that we had. They didn't have the crazy cities and, other than a few cities in Mexico, like Mexico City. So if they would go and put these plants in, like, why is it doing? I mean, I'm all for people being able to work, but is that better? Is that better than the way they were living before, when they were living like indigenous people or living like villagers or living like tradespeople or whatever they did to get by? I don't know. Maybe it is better.
Let's go back to the whole situation here. I still remember, because I'm a little older than you, I still remember where it was kind of starting to get taboo if you bought a foreign car.
Yeah.
Like, I'm that old, ladies and gentlemen. That I still remember the mid-'70s. I still remember when Toyota advertised or Nissan advertised the car for $1995. And I would go, wait a second, I got $40 in the bank. I could buy one of those. It was $1,900, stupid, like a Corolla or something.
Yeah.
And I still remember there was a time in this country when if you were the first person on this block, if you showed up with a foreign car, you got a little bit of grief. You got a little bit of grief. And then it felt like they sold themselves. It felt like we dropped the ball at some point as Americans, I don't know what happened in Detroit and all that stuff. I know that, where's the highest population to Puerto Rico in this country?
I don't know.
You think it's the Bronx,
right?
But it's not. It's a suburb outside of Cleveland. Why? Because in the 50s, they took a bunch of Puerto Ricans and put them into this suburb to work at the car plants. All the car plants shut down there. We ended up going other places and whatever and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And then the foreign cars started kicking our fucking ass.
Right.
Why? Again, I don't know. Was it the workmanship? Was it the quality? All I know is if I got a fucking Toyota, I could drive it for 80,000 miles without stopping to get gas. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You, as a consumer and as an American, you want to buy American products and you want to buy American-made products. So there's a couple places now, like beside Mexico, there's where we have places now, like in Indiana, we have, like, Toyota has a couple places, and they should bring it back. I mean, fuck it. Let some, so we trade. We get some of Toyota's stuff, which is what kind of car are they? They're Japanese or Chinese?
They're Japanese.
Japanese.
Yeah.
And let some of our shit get made over there. That's part of, is it NAFTA?
That's North American Free Trade Agreement.
So I don't know.
That's just, I think, I'm just talking on my ass here, but I think that's just us, Mexico, and Canada.
So when we build a car in Mexico, it's a lot cheaper to develop that car because of the rate.
Yeah, they're paying
that
people
they pay
less.
them.
They pay
Okay.
people less. It's cheaper to get land. These people don't have anything else going on down there, or not as much going on down there, obviously, as they do in America in some like heavily populated cities. And so they can offer people much less money. And they do. There's a lot of plants that do that.
That's
that go
funny.
Down there. But here's the thing: like, it's the real question is, do you think that this is just going to elevate these people, and they're eventually going to catch up with the Western world and live the way that we're living right now in the United States? Like, there's ultimately a possibility of that. Or are we saying, well, we're always going to have these people that we treat less good, and we're just always going to keep them in that position? They're never going to get any better. I mean, which one is it? It's either one of those two things, or I mean, it could possibly be that people just want shit cheaper so bad they don't care. They don't care. They don't care if a guy's making $1 a week or whatever the fuck they make. How much do they make? If you had to guess, how much does someone in an automobile plant in Mexico make as opposed to an American worker? I'm sure someone must have done some sort of a study. It's weird, man, because if they were doing the exact same thing on this patch of dirt, we would go, what? You can't pay that little. But then you say, oh, but down there everything's cheaper, and they're giving these people an opportunity. Like, why is it better? Here's the question. Why is it better than the way they've always been living? In Mexico, $2 per hour, workers make $40,000 SUVs. $2 an hour. Jesus Christ. Do you imagine a person working all day and you hand them $16? You, sir, are a piece of shit. Could you imagine? Guy busts his ass on an assembly line all day. You give him $16. Fuck you. That's crazy.
Started at $1.10 an hour.
Oh my God, $1 an hour.
You make more in prison.
That is ridiculous.
And that's Mexican money or that's American money? $1 a day, $2 an hour.
Maybe it's like the translated.
Joe, we're getting fucked from
That's
all
insane.
angles.
But it's just... the idea is that if you're always going to be able to, you got to always be able to make more money. Like, these people have this idea in a lot of these corporations of unlimited growth. They just want to constantly be growing. Some people think it's a very dangerous idea, because if your bottom line for your company is to always outdo every quarter, at a certain time people start getting desperate. And they start cutting environmental corners or cutting research corners or doing whatever the fuck they have to do to keep their bottom line down and keep their profits coming in. And that's what you could say about like these prescription drug companies. People want to think that these companies are evil. They're companies. Their job is to make money, okay? And they're caught up in a storm where they're allowed to make legal money. And this legal money is fucking substantial. It's a giant amount of money these pharmaceutical companies are making on opiates. So people are dying left and right, Joey. Left and right. This is one of the craziest unspoken epidemics the human race has seen.
Joe Rogan, how long I know you?
Forever.
I tell you the truth on everything. I still talk to my drug dealers. They were good to me when I needed them. And from month to month, I still talk to the Armenian. And I still talk to Don Sleazy. In fact, Don Sleazy just did a big movie. He got a couple of lines in a big movie.
That's awesome.
They do what they do. I do what I
Right.
do. I have a family. I got a call from the Armenian. I saw him at Ralph's. Okay.
You have a bit you used to do about the Armenian? That's one of my favorite bits.
I saw the Armenian at Ralph's. He gave me a hug. I saw him with his kids. The kids are huge
Right.
now. You don't know how many times I met him with his kids, and he would put an 8-ball in my hand. You know, like, I've been in that position.
Right.
So now I had groceries, and I hugged him. And he goes, do you mind if I call you later? You know, and I go, sure, call me, whatever you want. And he goes, where do you live? And I told him, and he goes, I live here. Can I meet you? I want to ask you a question. I didn't know. I thought he was going to ask me if I still did blow. I didn't know.
Right.
I'm good. I'm good. And when I went to meet him, what he wanted to know was, he goes, you're a comedian, and I just wanted to ask if you knew anybody who get pills. And I go, I got Xanax at the house. You're free to take them. He goes, no. I'm talking pain, oxy, whatever.
Right.
Again, I shook his hand. I gave him a hug. Joe Rogan,
Right.
I don't know nobody.
Right,
I don't know
right.
anybody.
Yeah.
A week later, I told him I'd ask, because I do know a guy, kind of, sort of, white dude in Hollywood.
Right.
And I called him, like, a week later, the Armenian called me, and he goes, and I go, I'm sorry, hold on. And I went and I looked and I called this white dude, and he called me back, and